Hello and welcome everybody. My name's Rose Smith from AbsoluteSoulSecrets.com. Thank you for joining me today. We're looking at the Libra May horoscope, and what a truly huge month it is for everybody. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about just briefly is Mercury going retrograde, and that's from the 10th of May to the 3rd of June. There's a little thing called a shadow period either side of those dates, so maybe allow another 5 to 7 days, especially if you've got something important like a contract or an agreement that you have to sign. It's a good idea not to sign it if you can help it, because usually something changes after you've signed it. Okay, but after about the 10th of June, Mercury would have turned direct and things should be smooth sailing after that, if you can put it off that long, that is. Okay, we've got a partial solar eclipse on the 1st of May in Taurus for Australian and New Zealand residents only, because this partial solar eclipse would have happened on the 30th of April if you're in most parts of the world, but because of the time differences, Australia, New Zealand and a few Pacific Islands are ahead in time, and of course we always knew that. Also Pluto went retrograde on the 29th of April, and for you that's in your 4th house of home and family, so you might feel like it goes quieter, that there's a little bit of a reprieve or some sort of slowing down of energies around the home and family. If you've been having some full-on rows and some deep things coming up, you might find that it sort of tends to smooth out a little bit. So that's actually a good thing. So as you can see, there is a lot of significant changes in energy and a reprieve from doing a bit of the tough stuff. Okay, I'll just briefly tell you what I do. I like to draw 2 tarot cards as theme cards for the month for you. I'm quite clairvoyant, so I see pictures and I'll tell you what I see. We'll have a look at your horoscope in depth after that. If you are new, subscribe and be alive and hit that notification bell right now. Let's go to the board. I'm finding myself talking really quickly. There's so much to get through. Okay, so these 2 tarot cards. Well, there's one that's just jumped out, and of course it's about home and family. I didn't even get to close my eyes, and this one's jumped out. This is all about home and hearth, and I was just talking about that to do with Pluto. Maybe the energy in your home becomes a little bit lighter, and there's a bit more kindness going on, a bit more nurturing, a bit more sort of love and affection and that sort of thing. You see the rocking horse here, it's the inner child. Everybody's inner child has lately been very much affected by what's going on in the ether and what is actually going on in the world. I've got the window open, actually, that's why that's blowing around. And so, this is quite a beneficial, positive sort of energy. If this is not your actual home and you can't find this in yourself to, focus on your own energy, see if you can find somebody who is a bit kind. Maybe go to a spiritualist church or, somewhere where people are more affectionate and more genuine than some other places, because it's really important to plug in to this this month, okay, for you, lovely Libra. All right, you might find yourself cooking a bit more too. If you know me, you know, especially if you follow me on Facebook, you know that I am so terrible at cooking. And I usually post my disasters up on Facebook. So this might be me, because I feel like I've got a bit of the cooking vibe coming in, which is very unusual for me. So if you want to follow me on Facebook, it's rosesmith.absolutesoulsecrets. Send me a friend request. Okay, let's look at the second half of the month for you, lovely Libra, and we'll see what comes out. I didn't get to close my eyes there either. Okay, this is fabulous, the 8 of Pentacles. It's about earning money through work, but it's a type of work that has a spiritual leaning. You might be doing something with your hands, in fact, and actually, you know, it can be a sort of a physical type item with this. So this is about blacksmithing, silversmithing. If you are a smith, it's really interesting to go back and have a look at your name, because there's a spiritual inclination towards blacksmithing and silversmithing and bringing out that creativity into a physical item. So yeah, no matter what your name is, go back and have a look at the origins of your name. It's very interesting, and it's amazing how true to name we all actually are. Pentacles is about your money, so this is about being suitably rewarded when you take action, okay, when you take appropriate action. See, she's got these red legs. That's about moving forward, taking action steps. This blue is about self-expression. I want to say it's also about creativity, even though that's not my normal interpretation, but I just feel this creative sort of splurge and money coming to you. So that's lovely. Alrighty, there are your cards. Take note of those. I'm going to make this a bit bigger so you can see. I'll put your cards. Oh dear, there's not much space, is there? I've got to move that up there like that so you can see what's going on. Okay, and I'll put that like that just so you can hopefully remember it. Alrighty, okay, so let's have a look here. See, most of the activity is on the what's called the western side of the chart. This side is the eastern side. This is where the horizon is. So here in the western side, you see all the planets. It's called a royal chart. And it's called a royal chart because in the old days, the royals, you know, were very much focused on relationships, especially with other countries. And you know, because if you didn't have a good relationship with another country, you might have a war. So it's important to marry into other countries and have good relationships. So, and you can see the 7th house and the 6th house. You know, there is a lot about relationships going on here. So you might find yourself you're more dependent on other people this month. And that's okay. Keep it all in balance. You don't want to become codependent on other people. That's the only thing. Your ruler Venus in the 6th and the 7th houses this month. I'll talk more about this in a moment. That's quite significant. Australia and New Zealand I've already talked about. Here in the 8th house, the partial eclipse, solar eclipse in the 8th house is about your money. So there's something major going on with your money here, because you've got this lunar eclipse here in the 2nd house with the south node, and this is the way that you've been in the past with money, and it's going to get a bit of a shake-up. Something unusual is going to happen around the way you earn money or the way you spend money. And up here we have the partial solar eclipse of the Australians, my brethren, my country people, and also that's about new beginnings. So there could be some new way of earning money, but it's not necessarily to do with a regular career. It could be, but not necessarily. And this comes into play with this card here, okay, the 8 of Pentacles. And just to give you another sort of idea about what that can mean, it's about craftsmanship and skilled labour, okay, and being rewarded for what you create. Okay, so these days, of course, we may do that online. And so maybe there's some sort of online business or something connected there. The lunar eclipse in the 2nd house here in Scorpio brings up intense feelings around money, and it's quite an intense shake-up. Okay, I'll talk more about that. Mercury retrograde in your 9th and 8th houses. So it's here in the 9th, but Mercury actually goes back into the 8th because it's retrograde, and it's about, this is sort of like a combination in the 9th. It's like looking at the world and expanding out into the world and communicating with the world and getting your ideas and your voice heard. And back into the 8th, there's some sort of, again, communications or ideas about joint resources and other people, what you share with other people, really, basically. It can also be intimacy. And also Pluto here in the 4th house, a bit of a reprieve I talked about. Jupiter in the 7th house brings wonderful energy for partnerships, marriages, business partnerships and agreements. It's also good if you have a legal matter, because the 7th house is often about legalities. Interesting, you know, you can start off married, which is a contract, and then it goes to legalities, and then it goes to open enemies if it doesn't work out. But Jupiter brings more energy, and it's usually quite fair and honest and above board, and it's trying to grow your life. So you could have new partners coming in or new business relationships. How's your teeth going, lovely Libra? Because I can feel the top jaw, the front teeth in the top jaw, sort of on edge. Maybe you feel uncertain about something. This could be something going back to your childhood. Maybe there's a business partnership and you're not 100% sure about what you're getting into, maybe. Okay. All right, let's have a look at this in depth. So with the partial solar eclipse for Australia and New Zealand in the 8th, some sort of concerns about jointly held assets and property. So it could be real estate, and there's some sort of emotional attachment to it. So this could be, as I said, something to do with your childhood, going back and old patterns coming out, and they could be coming out to be cleared, basically. And it's like you have a certain reaction and you tend to react the way that you always have. But now maybe you can be more objective and just look at the numbers, okay, especially if it's a business thing. Your emotions are likely to be quite intense, and do watch you don't overreact to some encounter. From the 30th of April to the 3rd of May, Mercury conjuncts Mercury. It's not retrograde yet at this stage, but this gives you the ability to be quite alert, mentally sharp and clear, and you sort of instinctively understand new concepts better than usual. And you can verbalise and articulate your ideas very well. It's a great time to make plans and strategies or begin a course of study. From the 1st of May to the 28th of May, Venus in your 7th house here is just beautiful for your important relationships. It's beautiful for meeting new people, especially potential friends and romantic partners. If you're in a sort of relationship that's on again, off again, or it's not committed, you could find that it goes to a deeper level of commitment now with Venus here, and there's just a lot of companionship and affection. Okay, and if you are married or you're in a serious relationship, then you find that you want to take it further. Maybe you buy a home together, or you have a baby, or it goes to a deeper level somehow. 1st of May to the 11th of May sees Jupiter conjuncting Venus, and this is fabulous for relationships. It's beautiful. Your relationship grows. The only thing with it, Venus does look after your money, so you may want to buy beautiful things because Venus loves that, and she loves to splurge. The urge to splurge is quite strong right now. It's great for going out to parties and socialising, having a fun time with other people. And if you can't find a party to go to, you probably throw one yourself, which is a good idea. Good, invite me. You could easily spend more money than what you should, but you might also get some sort of bonus or gift with that, because there is a bit of a lucky streak around you right now and some unexpected benefits. 5th of May to the 15th of May, Jupiter squares your MC. Okay, something might come up like an opportunity to increase your work or your career. Maybe you're looking at a new job, or you're looking at some sort of opportunity that you found online, and you feel ready and fit for a better situation to do with your career. And okay, although that's good, just don't overestimate. You really need to do the research around this potential company or whoever it is that you're dealing with. Don't take on more than you can chew. Jupiter makes everything grow, and it gives a lot of confidence. And you think you could do it, and you probably can, but be realistic with it. That's all I say. But it's a fabulous influence. Even though it's a square, it can still work out very well and, be quite positive for you. 5th of May to the 27th of October, Jupiter in your 7th house, harmony, increased satisfaction in your marriage or personal relationships. You're also likely to be feeling more tolerant, generous, and, not very possessive of the other person. Freedom is a major thing that comes up, and you can feel it, and you've got the vibe, the freedom, the liberation. You're feeling quite good about this, and also you might look at expanding your social involvement, meeting new people in different ways, and look at sort of joint ventures and things like that might appeal to you. 5th of May to the 15th of May, Jupiter opposite your ascendant. You come into contact with a wider circle of people. You may become friends or meet important or influential people that can help you in some way. It's a great time for advertising, promoting a product or an event. It's a great time for mass media communications. Get out and meet new people. You should accept most invitations, and you might be surprised to find out that you form mutually beneficial relationships by getting out and about. 16th of May sees a lunar eclipse in Scorpio in your 2nd house here. And this is a time to really take care of your possessions and your finances, and also the things that you value, okay? You might have particular emotional attachment to some jewelry, for example. So make sure that you secure your valuables and your finances, and you're aware of what's happening. You may also wish to spend money on a whim, especially on things that have more emotional appeal and practical value, so do watch that if you can afford to, by all means. But yeah, money sort of slips through your fingers a little bit here if you're not careful. 14th of May to the 25th of May, Jupiter sextiles Mercury retrograde. Okay, so there's likely to be a lot of long distance communications, especially with people overseas or distant to you in some way. Business dealings are likely to be quite successful, but make sure you get everything in writing. And because of Mercury retrograde, there could be glitches in the communications. Maybe there's a misunderstanding, or maybe the technology fails. So you could be on a phone call or a Zoom to somebody and it just drops out. Things like that, which is, a bit frustrating, but yeah, certainly deals can still go ahead. There's likely to be people that will help and assist you in some way, okay? Usually under this influence, it would be fabulous to advertise and publish here, but again, with Mercury retrograde, you have to do your research, maybe plan it, look into it. If you can put it off, maybe think about that, you might find that you still get an okay response, but Mercury sort of slows things down a little bit, just to say that. Other people are still likely to respond to your message, just make sure that you put everything in writing if you can. 19th of May to the 21st of June, Sun moves into your 9th house here, which is great for growing your life, lifting yourself out of the normal sort of daily humdrum that we all get into. It's like now is the time for seeking new vistas and broader horizons through travelling, studying, reading, and your spirituality also. So it's a great time to read about spiritual topics, religion, if you're into organised religion, or philosophy. And maybe have more contact with people overseas. Okay, 22nd of the month to the 13th of June, Mercury is retrograde in your 8th house here. It was in the 9th, then it comes back from the 10th of May to the 3rd of June. and this is about joint resources. If you're doing a business deal, because there does seem to be a fair amount of business going on this month, just know that there might be a delay, and the other person, something happens with the other side, the other party, and maybe they go quiet or something happens, and so it just slows everything down, which can be a little bit frustrating. But it is a good time to get your affairs in order, generally speaking. Also, there could be discussions about legalities, things like wills, inheritances, or somebody that has passed over. Maybe you're having memories come back about somebody. I've noticed that lately. A lot of the past, when Mercury goes retrograde, you find you're remembering things from a long time ago. Being at school, and not just horrible things or not just good things, but just average normal thing, like walking to school in the morning or something like that. And so all these memories come flooding back. So okay, so 22nd to the 26th, Mercury sextiles Venus, and again, put everything in writing, but this is likely to be quite friendly and cooperative and harmonious. So even if there is a misunderstanding, you can sort it out. When a planet goes retrograde, it's not the end of the world. Sometimes there's quite positive things like communications. If you've lost contact with someone, they come back under Mercury retrograde sometimes. And it's a great time. This is a great time for social interactions and getting in touch with old friends, particularly those friends that you haven't heard from for a while, or they're distant in some way. Not really the time for heavy discussions, but more for light casual conversations and socialising and just sort of having fun. This is really a month to lighten up and have some fun, lovely Libra. 23rd of May to the 4th of July, June, 4th of July, that's right. Can't read my own writing here. Mars moves into your 7th house. Okay, watch this, because when Mars does this, there can be arguments because Mars is not very compromising. So Mars is here in the 6th, it moves into the 7th. It does give you a lot of energy for moving ahead with relationships, especially, if you've been seeing someone but it's not very committed, so this really does give you a bit of a push to get a relationship onto a steady sort of committed level. But sometimes arguments come up, and you're probably going to be less compromising. That's not a bad thing with Libra, by the way, because Libra tends to over compromise and sell themselves short. So this is more about Mars is more about looking after yourself. So I don't think in your case, lovely Libra, that this is going to be a big problem, because you like to have balance in all things. So this might work positively for you. If you're after a relationship or you fancy someone, you probably go after them and make the first move, which might be fabulous, might work out really good for you. 24th of May to the 28th, Mercury retrograde sextiles Jupiter. You're likely to be more optimistic and hopeful and forward-looking. You probably see connections and possibilities that you may have overlooked in the past, and you're more enthusiastic, and you want to share your plans and dreams, and you're probably more receptive to other people as well. But yeah, just make sure that you're clear when you share them, because sometimes confusion can creep in with Mercury retrograde. Contracts, negotiations and business dealings of all kinds are favoured now. Maybe get someone to look over any contracts or agreements, or if you're thinking about doing something, somebody who specialises in businesses, or whatever the agreement is about, that would be good to have another set of eyes over that. So I just got noisy birds outside. I had the white cockatoos just flying over a moment ago, making screeching sounds. Now I've got the chickens out the back making screeching sounds. Okay, so 27th of May to the 22nd of June, Venus moves into your 8th house. This is absolutely fabulous for your sex life if you have one. Not everybody does. Maybe you don't want to, and that's fine too. Whatever you decide for your life is right. This is also great for, again, business affairs. You've got a lot of businessy stuff happening this month in May if you're into that. But also, with this, you could also meet a benefactor through friends or in a social environment, and you're likely to get financial backing or emotional support for your ideas at the moment. Intimate relationships are intensified, and either you or your partner want a deeper union. Okay, and on the 30th of May, a new moon bringing new beginnings in your 9th house, and it's in Gemini. And so a new moon gives you a lot of opportunities, and because it's in your 9th house, this is about expanding your life. Maybe you feel like going on, a mini vacay or a getaway, even for a weekend can help. And you go away perhaps and you think about your life and you put things into perspective and see what your general life direction's like and how you can tweak it and change it if you want to. Okay, so this is all about expanding your horizons. You might be thinking of doing a new course, retraining, thinking about perhaps changing your job. There is a fair bit going on here in your 6 houses of everyday work. There could be some major change around the work that you do if you work. This is also health. I'll include health in that as well. Your MC is here, which is the general direction of your life, and it's about expansion. So, I feel pretty excited actually for you and for me too, because I'm a Libran. Alrighty, so that's it, everyone. I hope this is useful for you. Let me know in the comments. Leave a like and share on your socials would be fabulous. I would love that, and I thank you in advance. And I just want to wish you all a very wonderful month. And if you are new, please consider joining the channel and hit the notification bell. Okay, have a great month, everyone, and I'll see you soon. Bye for now. Thanks so much for watching. Please visit my website, absolutesoulsecrets.com, for all things spiritual. Have a lovely day.